Hey guys, Chickadee Maine, aka DeBud.com, with a video surf forecast update. This surf forecast update brought to you by North Beach Fish Camp. Looking for some of the freshest seafood in town? Visit North Beach Fish Camp, located at the end of Atlantic Blvd in Neptune Beach, Florida. This forecast update effective around 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, September 14th, 2013. And guys, we apologize for not providing you any recent updates. There just really hasn't been anything to talk about. With that said, we're going to start you off over here in the Bay of Campeche with Tropical Storm Ingrid. Tropical Storm Ingrid continues to churn in the Bay of Campeche and looks to start to lift towards the west-northwest over the next couple of days. Now, we know that there's increasing surf conditions along the Texas coast, onshore flow out of the east-southeast, primarily in the Gulf of Mexico, and the Panhandle already got a small little bump from Tropical Storm Ingrid and looks to get another larger bump probably sometime around Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. We're going to take a closer look at that for you over the next couple of days to see exactly what Ingrid is going to do. There are some hints, guys. We've seen it in a couple of model runs, and we mentioned it in a Facebook comment the other day that because Ingrid is hanging around down here, there is a possibility that the next front that's going to be moving in next week could pick up the remnants of Tropical Storm Ingrid and move it into the central Gulf of Mexico. So we're going to be watching for that. And again, we'll detail that in another post. Switch you over now to the Central Atlantic and what was 98L Invest. This little area of convection that's popping up this morning, the National Hurricane Center has dropped it from giving any chance of development. And this is located northeast of Puerto Rico. This is going to continue to move off towards the west-northwest, and we're going to continue to monitor it as the couple of model runs, previous model runs, were showing the possibility of some development east of the Bahamas. Switching you now over to what was Hurricane Humberto in the far eastern Atlantic. This is now a tropical storm, and you can see that there's no convection at all associated with this. However, this system continues to spin and move off towards the west-northwest. Now, there is going to be some Humberto swell that's going to hit the East Coast probably around Tuesday or Wednesday in the 12 to 13 second range. We'll take a little bit closer look at that in just a minute. But guys, looking at the latest wind shear analysis, guys, this is likely to be the quietest Atlantic hurricane season on record. There just does not look like anything in the forecast as far as hurricanes are concerned coming up in the latest model runs. Now, there are a couple things that we're going to be looking at. This is the time of year now that we have on the backside of the peak of the hurricane season, we move away from looking at Africa for systems coming off there, the Cape Verde season, and we go back to looking for homegrown development caused by fronts dropping down into the southeast U.S. So we're going to be focusing in on the Gulf of Mexico and off the southeast U.S. coast as we progress towards the back end of hurricane season. But as you can see with the yellows and oranges, these are indicative of high wind shear, and there really is no favorable area for development at the moment other than north of Puerto Rico and in here towards the Bahamas. And that's one of the reasons why we're going to continue to monitor the Ex-98L Invest. Looking at the latest probability areas for tropical development, this little forecast model run shows you with the blue areas, the areas that are favorable for tropical development. And as we go back and forth over the next 4 to 5 days in the forecast model run, you can see that the blue hatched areas go away, and the only favorable area is down here in the Western Caribbean along the Intertropical Convergence Zone and over here in the Bay of Campeche. And again, that's one of the reasons why we're going to keep an eye on Ingrid, as we could see the remnants of Ingrid pop back up in the central Gulf of Mexico. Here is the latest swell forecast for Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, showing that there is some Humberto swell in the water in the 10 to 13 second range that will be propagating again towards the southeast U.S. coast and up in here towards the northeast. The problem with it is at the same time Humberto swell is forecast to arrive, we've got a big high pressure system that's going to set up over the northeast for a couple of 2 or 3 days. This is going to increase some northeast flow into the southeast U.S. and the mid-Atlantic, and we've got an area of low pressure that the model is showing. So if we can get some really tight pinching of the gradient in here, if this low was to forecast to tighten up, we're going to get some increasing surf probably around Wednesday or Thursday of next week, going in here towards the southeast. Here again, Humberto out here in the north central Atlantic, still creating swell and sending it this way. Bermuda is located right here, so it's well east of Bermuda. Looking at the ECMWF, here's the idea now of the remnants of INGRID popping up in the central Gulf of Mexico in here next week. Again, and some lower pressures off the southeast U.S. coast, something that we're going to keep an eye on. Again, as we get towards the fronts dropping down into the southeast U.S., the rule of thumb is always watch the tail ends of fronts or along the stalled fronts for an area of low pressure to spin up. That's all we got for you for now, guys. Stay tuned for the next update.